Okay, well, thank you very much for joining me this evening. We're going to be talking to IAO131 about the Education Committee. This particular interview is designed to further our explorations of ways that people in the OTO can help the OTO perform the things that we do as the OTO when there are no particular officer positions open in your local lodge, and it's part of the effort that we're working on to expose more people to the things that we can do in the order to help the order beyond the obvious local things. So this evening we're going to be talking about the Education Committee of the Ordo Templi Orientis. Frater IAO 131 is, what exactly is your title, brother?
I believe it is Secretary of the United States Grand Lodge Education Committee.
Wow, that's quite a mouthful.
Oh, it's just Secretary. That works.
Well, Secretary of the Education Committee, you were the first person that reached out to me when you saw the original blog post talking about ways to get people involved in the things that we're doing. So you obviously get dibs on being the first person to discuss your particular venue, your area of operations, your I don't know, the battlefield that you're fighting on right now. So.
Right.
Tell us a little bit about the Education Committee. What is its primary intent?
Sure. So the Education Committee is, like I said, it's a United States Grand Lodge committee or program. So it is at the Grand Lodge level, which means it is meant to serve all the members of United States Grand Lodge. And our primary purpose, as stated, is to provide standards, guidelines, and materials for local body classes. But we do a lot of writing and editing course material that we make available to body masters as well as camp information organizers. And if you ask really nicely and you are international in a body master, we can probably do that as well. So. Even though we are specifically a United States Grand Lodge program, I don't want to just be mean and not let our other brothers and sisters use this material as well.
Yeah, we're not very exclusive when it comes to the international orders, for sure. So when you say that you have different kinds of classes that you offer, what kind of topics do you cover?
What kind of topics?
Yeah.
The usual. So we have the kind of some typical courses on ceremonial ritual, on magic, on yoga, a bunch on Phalamic philosophy, and we're starting to get a few on EGC, or Ecclesia Gnostica Catholica, or Gnostic Catholic Church. So to give some examples, we have a course on Liber Resh, that was just updated, actually. We also have a course on Phalamic ethics and one on promulgating the law of Phalama. And then on the EGC side, we have one about our history, the structure of our church, the calendar of our church. And we're starting to get out some material on the roles of the Gnostic Mass. So we already have one out on the office of the child or the children, and we're working on some more material there. So we're really trying to get educational materials that cover the breadth of the topics that OTO members are interested in and that we as an order say we teach.
So are you going to actually have like a separate set of classes for each of the roles, for example, in the EGC? Like, are you going to have a deacon class that goes into all the different things that we've gathered over the years about our saints, for example, our saints list, or the intonations versus speaking things? Are you going to go into that level of detail for offices like the actual deacon?
I certainly would like to. All of the courses that we create are reviewed and approved by the executive of United States Grand Lodge. So it's held to a very high standard of excellence, which I, of course, like and is good for everyone. But once you get to the children, or once you get past the children, the amount that you can say about that role starts to expand exponentially, let's say.
Hmm.
So there's already a very long course on the children, and I intend to get material on the deacon, an entire course on the deacon, and it may actually end up being multiple courses on a single role, because these
Yeah.
classes are meant to be about an hour and a half or so. You can't really cover everything about any of the roles in the Gnostic Mass in just that time anyhow. So
Right. You'd probably have to have multiple sessions to get into the different layers of it all, I'd imagine.
yeah, like
So,
infinite sessions to really get to all the layers, but we do as best as we can.
right, and it's all degree sensitive at some point, right?
Indeed.
So, all right. So it sounds like you have your work kind of cut out for you, but are you working on this alone? Do you have a team?
I have a team. I am the leader of that team, I suppose. The interesting fact is that the education committee is open to having members of the degree of KEW or above on the committee
Hmm.
as members, which means that you would volunteer to kind of contribute material, to review material, that kind of thing. But that being said, we're actually open to anyone, any initiate, even Man of Earth degree initiates to submit at least proposals for classes, and if it looks good, I'll ask you to write it out, and it'll be submitted. So really anyone that listens to this that is a member of United States Grand Lodge and has some ideas as to classes has the potential to submit coursework. So that's why I was really hoping to get the word out that this isn't just something that the Grand Poobahs on high do and send to us lower degrees. It's actually very much a ground-up kind of endeavor.
Right. Yeah, I actually kind of like that about what your particular branch is working on. I was looking through the different planning documents that we have available, and this seems like something that's super accessible and also something that's super useful to the
Mhm.
body at large. And when I started childing, I panicked. The first time I ever was a child in a mass was with on one of the Gnostic Road shows that Craig Berry does,
Right.
and and I'm like sitting there with all these people I've never met because I basically was stuck in the panhandle of Florida, and it was just absolutely horrifying. I couldn't help but think I was going to set someone on fire. I was going to forget to move when I was supposed to, and I was going to ruin the entire mass. As if
Right.
it, and in retrospect, I'm like, children can't ruin Jack. In the worst case scenario, the priestess will give you a glower and you'll know where to go. It's just like dealing with
Right.
mom. But
Indeed. It really is.
but yeah, one of the first things I did was put together a outline of everything I had to do as a child based on each particular priest and priestess I served with, because they all have
Hmm.
their own versions of what they expect, and um,
That's true.
so I mean I actually think I could contribute, and I've um, been in a position to actually have something to contribute since I was a first degree person starting out with my childing services. So
Right.
I think all of us probably, as we go up through the EGC stuff, we're taking notes and developing our own like our own crib sheet. And
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, everybody's probably got their method of doing it, and everybody has some good advice they could offer other people. So I think that this education committee is a really good venue for people who have even like the least amount of experience in the mass, for example, to provide some kind of help to everybody else, because it is
That's right.
terrifying when you haven't looked at it before. So yeah. Anyway,
Yeah. The fact of the matter is that the education committee say wants a class on the role of the child in the mass, just as an example. We know that there are basically 50 half-written classes all around the country by
right.
all these people who are childing, taking notes, and all that thing. What we want is to have these people submit their material, and we can
Mhm.
collect it, edit it, and so we won't have to reinvent the wheel 50 times in each locale. We can kind of keep going and get better and better.
Right. So, speaking towards that end, do you guys have a document database ready, or do you have like some set of classes that can be like downloaded on PDF, or is it all something that has to be done in person?
So the courses themselves are not available to the public. They are specifically offered to body masters and camp information organizers. But all they have to do is email me, and I just verify that you are who you say you are,
Hmm.
and give you that material. So
Okay.
there's a list that's up on the website, education.oto-usa.org, and
Right.
any of those you can just email me, give me the title, or say I want it all, or whatever, and I will send that material to you. It's especially important because there's document control, there's various versions, and so on and so forth, although there is not anything, at least currently, there's not anything that is exclusive to certain degrees.
Hmm. Do you keep a list of people who've requested things that you can send out updates as they occur?
Yeah, actually, there's only been one update so far, at least as long as I've been around, which is not too long, and that has been to the Liber Resh
Hmm.
course, and I believe I've informed people who asked about it before. But yeah, just send me an email, and I occasionally actually post updates on the website itself. There's actually a tab that says News, and there's a few blog posts there whenever we have a big kind of, uh, I guess, upload of new material.
Very cool. Well, do you also offer any kind of like traveling, like do you have a team of people that are ready to hit the road and go and present on this information to people who are forming camps or people who are
Mhm.
trying to get their local bodies up to speed on the latest and greatest information?
Funny you should ask that. Yes, we do. We have something called the Traveling Lecturers List, which is a group of um, members of OTO that are 5th degree and above, which, by the way, if you are 5th degree and above and have a bunch of lectures and want to travel around, let me know, and we can get you on the list.
Is that like
So
the AIT stuff, or is this a different kind of thing?
this is people's own stuff. So if they are AIT presenters or CABA presenters or whatever, they might also offer those if you ask for them specifically.
Hmm.
So I know that, for example, Craig Berry, um, I'm sure Dionysus, David Shoemaker, these people are, I believe, all AIT presenters, at least at one point, as well as traveling lecturers. The
Hmm.
point of this list is that these individuals have made their services available. There's actually lists of their different lectures that they're willing to do, and all you need to, there's just a list up there, and all you need to do is contact them. Their own emails are actually up there, and any local body can just request them to come and talk, and it's just a really cool service that all these members are giving their great material to whoever wants it.
Well, that's yeah. I've been to a few of those things, and I think it's really a great, like you said, a great service to the body. Um,
Mhm.
is there a training program in place for you to train people who might be interested in becoming these traveling lecturers to only present the things that like the materials that you're putting together that have been approved? Like, do you have a certification course or something, or something that says something like somebody who's like first through third degree in the Man of Earth levels? Is there
Yeah.
anybody that could be like qualified or certified to present some of the like the Liber or the childing materials that you've already got? Would that be something people could jump in on and wander around
Yep.
and hang out with other people?
Well, I'd say that bishops are inherently qualified to talk about any EGC subject, but other than that, we don't have a credentialing process because the courses are written in a way they're intentionally written in a way to be non-idiosyncratic, meaning not from one person's personal particular perspective, just kind of a general uh, perspective that is not, I suppose, more non-controversial.
Hmm.
And they're written in a way so that, at least hopefully, anyone could pick them up and read through them and teach that material, even if they're not too familiar with its contents. Uh,
Okay.
so the idea is for not just developed areas to use this, but also more undeveloped areas. Say if there's one person that's doing everything, they could easily just get all these courses, all the research and materials done for you already, pretty much, Of course,
Yeah.
you have to prepare a little bit
Right.
if you want to do it well, but yeah, they're kind of written intentionally in that way to just pick them up and go.
That's really cool. Actually, I used to work as a tech writer, and one of
Uh-huh.
my first contract positions was for the FAA, and I had to teach. I had to present materials that could be picked up by someone with a third grade reading level, who would then be able to teach the course, never having seen the equipment. Those are my requirements. So I understand kind of what kind of gargantuan task you're faced with this, and
Right.
I really appreciate that you guys are working on making this available to people. Um,
Absolutely.
so I'm going to put together a blog post to go with this interview, and
Mhm.
I will write up a couple paragraphs that include the links to the website and some ideas for submitting different kinds of proposals for materials and contact information to request, I guess, the materials or the approved materials you've already got on
There
hand.
you go.
All right. So anyway, thank you very much for your time. I understand that you are pressed and have other things to do this evening.
Every evening. That's life.
Right? Yeah. Well, thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate it, and I will get this published as soon as possible so that we can all benefit to the utmost.
Absolutely. My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
No problem.